This is my review of Chapter 2 of the Bleach manga. So, since I'm doing this on the Shonen Jump app, and I had to buy the volumes and shit, and it's just all kind of conglomerated. I don't know how the thing actually is supposed to look, but there's like a weird sandal with like a cloak with designs on it. And it's walking up to like a passed out Ichigo and Rukia. And I think it's supposed to be Kisuke Urahara arriving to give Rukia her guy. But I don't know. It's just a weird little scene on a blank page. And then we get the opening page, and it's just more weird shit where like Yuzu and Ichigo's dad are like berating him for not saving them when he became a Shinigami, and he looks over at Rukia and she just says, "Yeah, you took too long and we're all dead because of it." It was like a weird comedy thing, and then Ichigo's father attacks him, so I guess it was like a nightmare he was having that he failed. So his father attacks him and wakes him up, and Ichigo grabs him and slams him to the ground, and his father says he has nothing left to teach him. The chapter cover is just Ichigo saying something. I can't remember what he said. I think he was saying like a truck or something, because his father no. So on the ground, enough left to teach you. He asks him about where the injuries on him and Izu were at, and he kind of says, "What are you talking about, injuries?" Ichigo says something on the title page, I don't remember what it was he said. But he's just like shocked that his father is okay. And then we continue on. Ichigo's whole family has been healed, but they have no memory of what happened the previous day. They think a truck hit their house, and the truck driver just drove away, and so they're hoping he's going to come back one day so they can get their head paid for or whatever. And then we cut to the school, and we meet Tatsuki and Orihime. And Orihime is like daydreaming, so it introduces us to her as this kind of airheaded character, which is how she'll be for a while. And Tatsuki kind of brings her back to reality. She mentions that Ichigo's late. And as they talk about him, Orihime kind of imagines Ichigo, and like she says that he scowls a lot, so she imagines him, and then she imagines him as like a cat. And slowly she like transforms him into someone else, and we see a picture of a Shinigami with an afro, and that's actually a character that comes later in the story. And then she just imagines some other dude, and she laughs about it because I guess Ichigo looks like this other guy because they're both angry, I don't know. But that's just introducing us to her character, that she's just kind of living in her own world, basically. And in that panel, the only reason I even bring that up is because not only does the guy with the afro look like a Shinigami, and it'll come later, but the like final drawing also looked like a character that comes later, kind of. Not like any specific character, but he has a similar face to some of the characters that come later. His friends learn about the truck that hit his house, and they're talking about it, and Tatsuki says like, "I wonder if all of them died or got hurt," and then Ichigo hits her in the back of the head with his bag and says, "I'm sorry, but we're all okay." They go into the classroom. We meet the quiet friend of Ichigo's. I can't remember his name at all. He really fades into the background. But we meet him. He's the one with black hair. as Ichigo sits down, he's like, someone says something to him from the side, and he looks over, and Rukia's sitting next to him in his classroom. And his friend kind of introduces him to her, and then she has a little note on her hand that basically says, if you make a scene, then you're dead. Then they go up to the roof, and he kind of interrogates her to find out what she's doing here, and she reveals that because he stole her powers, she has to live in a gigai, which is basically just a false body, so that she can kind of maintain her existence and disguise herself as a human, because if the Hollows detect that she's a Shinigami and she's weak, they're going to try to hunt and eat her. But as a gigai, she can just kind of fade away, or blend in, rather. And she says that since Ichigo stole her powers, he needs to work for her as a Shinigami until she gets her powers back. He also asked her why she didn't go back to the Soul Society, and that's when she reveals that she can't because she doesn't have her Shinigami powers. Ichigo kind of starts walking away and says that he has no interest in being a Shinigami nor fighting Hollows anymore, and he only really did it because he wanted to protect his family. And then Rukia puts on a glove and runs up and knocks his soul out of his body. And then tells him to follow her. And so she takes Ichigo to a park and says, starts kind of asking him, is there a ghost around here? And he says, yeah, there is one. And then she says, well, there's going to be a hollow that will attack here soon. And then it appears and it just begins chasing the boy. Ichigo sees the hollow chasing the boy, and he goes to try to engage it, and she tells him to stop. And basically, unless he's willing to save every single spirit from every single hollow that attacks, then there's no reason for him to save this one. Because that's not what a Shinigami does. They don't get to pick when they do something. They are just always supposed to be selfless and self-sacrificing to save souls from hollows. Ichigo prepares to fight it, and he runs up, and he cuts one of its legs off as it was going to stab the boy. And it falls back in pain, and he tells Rukia that he's not going to sacrifice his life, and neither is he going to let this boy die when he's right in front of him. He's going to do things his way. And then the hollow runs back to attack him, and it kind of looks like a spider, and he just stabs it through the face and kills it. Then Ichigo, after it dies, says he will help Rukia because she helped to save his family, but he's not committed to being a Shinigami and won't go further than just assisting her. And then there's an end thing where someone says Strawberry passed out on the roof, and I don't know why. Never is Strawberry used as a nickname in the anime that I'm aware of. So I don't know if in the actual Japanese version of the manga people do call him Strawberry as a nickname, but it just seems weird here. It's very odd. But that was chapter 2. It's just an introductory chapter. The fight isn't really anything spectacular to talk about. It's really just establishing everything. But it was alright. Really not a lot to say. The art obviously just still looks great. And that's basically it.